So everyone, we have looked at the difference between these four phases of development. For the comparison summary between these phases, you may refer to the book on page 32. So those are the basic physical development of children. However, as I mentioned earlier in the video, children development can have some variation. The variation can be affected by some of these combination of external and internal factors. And they are environmental issues, development of children with physical disabilities, and also sex and gender differences. Let's look at them one by one shortly. Environmental issues or influences is about the place where children live. It also includes the diet of children, what they eat, and also environmental factors. For example, children living in a more industrialized places tend to reach puberty faster. Nutrition is another thing that affects children's development. Last but not least is the environmental factors. As children's development in the womb caused by mother's consumptions during pregnancy. That is one of the examples. Pregnant mothers who smoke or use drugs may affect the fetus' brain development. Other things related to environmental issues include family condition. For example, is the family in harmony? Or maybe the child lives in a broken home family. So, environment is a significant force throughout the course of development. The second one is development of children with physical disabilities. I'm sorry for the mistyping here, but it's physical disabilities. Children may be born or affected with some physical condition that affect their development. Let's see some examples. So some examples of physical disabilities are cerebral palsy. So you can look at picture number 1. So there are different causes for cerebral palsy depending on which area of brain which is infected. You can have a look there in the picture. Spina bifida is the picture at the bottom with the 3 babies there. Now as you see, babies with spina bifida have more liquid in their brain. So this must affect their development. The third example is Down syndrome. That is the picture on the right side at the top. So they are children who have extra chromosome in their body. Another example is muscular dystrophy. That's the example, the picture at the right bottom of this slide. Children with muscular dystrophy, they have to stand like that because of some physical condition. So these are just some, but not all. There might be some more. There must be some more. So we will not talk about these one by one, but basically, children with physical disabilities will have or will develop in a different path. The acquisition of motor skills are very challenging for them. For example, children with cerebral palsy may not be able to walk without any support. However, having this physical disability that does not mean that they are not intelligent. They still have intelligence and they still do develop motor skills, but they develop their motor skills in different ways and they may need different kind of helps. The third one, or the third factor, is the sex and gender differences. Sex difference is based on biological basis, very biological and inherited, but gender differences is based on both biological and social origins. The example of sex difference is girls and boys tend to develop at different pace at different stage of development. For example, girls tend to develop faster during infancy, childhood, and girls also reach puberty 2 years ahead of boys. On the other hand, boys are generally taller and heavier than girls, except during their early puberty when girls go through the pubertal growth spurt first. Now, this is the example of gender difference. In the early childhood, girls tend to perform better in locomotor skills and stability. You can see the examples of locomotor skills in this picture. But boys are better in manipulative skills. Again, you can look at examples of manipulative skills in this picture. But later, girls are more skilled in fine motor tasks and activities that require agility. But boys, they are better at sports that involve force and power. Is this true to you? So basically, everyone, from this material we have learned that generally there are 4 phases of physical development, namely infancy, early childhood, middle childhood, and also adolescence. So children development will roughly follow these phases. However, we need to bear in mind that development varies from one child to another, and the variation can be affected by some of these combination of external and internal factors. So this is the end of the lecture video on children physical development. Thank you everyone for listening.